In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. And through him all things were made, and without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness could not comprehend or overcome it. There was a man sent from God, and his name was John. He came to bear witness or to testify concerning that light, so that through him all might believe. He himself was not the light. He only came to witness to the light. The true light that gives light to everyone was coming into the world. He was in the world, and though the world was made through him, the world did not recognize him. He came to that which was his own, but his own did not receive him. Yet to all those who received him, to those who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of God. Children not born of natural descent, nor of human decision, or a husband's will, but born of God. And this word, the Logos, became flesh and lived among us. And we have seen his glory, the glory of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. And then I want to go to 1 John. You know, it's really interesting how the Apostle John continues his message from the letter, from the Gospel of John to the letter of John. And he says, that which was from the beginning. In the beginning. And it's really interesting that the Bible in Genesis 1:1, how does that start? Anybody knows?
In the beginning.
In the beginning. When was the beginning? It's really hard, I think, for us to comprehend. Okay, so close your eyes and picture this. Nothing. And all of a sudden, something. And all God had to do is speak the word, let there be light. And there was light. Now, how many of you can do that? Is speak a word and it appears. None of us can do that. Even the scientists have tried and tried and tried for many years to create life. But what do they have to do? They have to take something that God has already made and try to manipulate the properties, and they still can't create life. And the Apostle John says, that which was from the beginning, which we have heard, which we have seen with our eyes, which we have looked at and our hands have touched. Remember in John 14, Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man goes to the Father except through me. And they asked, you know, show us the way. And then Thomas, the doubter, right? Unless I, what? Put my hands, my fingers in his hand and my hand in his side, I will not believe. But then when Jesus appeared in front of Thomas, right? And he says, go ahead, check me out. What did Thomas say? My Lord and my God. And Jesus says, blessed are those who believe and have not seen. That's us. We are blessed. So receive that blessing from Jesus. This we proclaim concerning the word, the Logos, of life. The life appeared, we have seen it and testified to it, and we proclaim to you the eternal life, which was with the Father and has appeared to us. Eternal life. So what does that word eternal mean? That's hard for us finite people to comprehend, eternity. But eternal existence, when a person is conceived, they begin life. We're not like God, who didn't have a beginning. If you want to go through the mathematical diagrams, we have a line with an arrow on both ends. What does that mean?
Never ending.
Infinite. No beginning and no end, right? But then you have a line that starts here and then has an arrow there. That is a line that goes on forever. And from the moment of conception, we have life. We have existence. But the term eternal life is not for everyone. We have a choice whether to have eternal life or eternal death. Good job, Gene. And it is our choice. You see, too many people out there are saying, God is going to send you to hell. Have you heard that before? God doesn't send anybody to hell. It's their choice whether they go there or not. And we have, especially those who have heard the gospel of Jesus Christ, we have the luxury of having the gospel preached to us freely here in America. And we have God's word. And throughout the centuries, people have tried to destroy the word of God. Now, really interesting, right? Okay, we have the word of God, which is the Bible. Anybody have a Bible?
Yeah.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
What's the purpose of the Bible? It's decoration for your coffee table, right? Huh?
No.
I mean, that's in a lot of homes. You might even have the Bible open to a certain, probably in the middle, Psalm somewhere. But it's also interesting that John says the Word was God. When God speaks, He is revealing His nature to us. And when we understand this, that this Word became flesh. Now, where in history have we heard about this Word becoming flesh? Well, this Word was God. This Word became flesh. Well, that must mean Jesus. The Word, Jesus, became flesh, and now He's talking about, we testify and proclaim to you the Word of life. This Jesus, the whole story of Jesus. And without Jesus, then the whole gospel story is useless. The life appeared, we have seen it and testified to it, and we proclaim. We shout it out. We want everybody to know. We proclaim to you the eternal life, which was with the Father and has appeared to us. Now, one of the things you will hear people when they talk about death, the life after death, most people when you talk about where are you going to go after you die, what do you think most people say?
I don't know.
I hope,
Yeah.
I go to heaven, or I'm going to go to hell. Now, the ones that really get to me is the one who have said, I am going to hell, because they really misunderstand what grace is all about. That Jesus provided a way through what he did on the cross. But it's our choice where we want to spend eternity. And a lot of times people will, they give themselves a lot of time. It's almost like the evolutionists. It takes millions and millions and billions of years for us to get to where we are today. We just watched a movie a Wednesday night called Gifted Hands. And it's just amazing. Ben Carson, how he and a team separated some Siamese twins, I guess you call them, that were connected at the head. For a man to have the kind of intelligence to be able to do something like that, where did that come from? Was it an accident? Was it over time?
No.
Or is this something that God has given each and every one of you the ability to use your brain? And they say we don't use hardly any of our brain. In fact, a surgery was done where they removed a child's half of the brain. You know, it was really neat because they were trying to wake up the child, right? And that child spoke when he woke up. Amazing. We don't think about God's amazing power, that he is the one. And again, I say it takes more faith to believe in a theory of evolution, that we evolved into what we are today, than to believe that there's a supreme being, a God, a creator, who created all of us in all of the beauty that we see. Right now I'm working on making a flower bed, and some of you know how much I enjoy working in the yard, getting all the weeds out, right? That's all the evil. In heaven, there's no weeds. At least we won't recognize them as weeds. I mean, just like the dandelion, I said this before, right? For a child to get that nice white puff, and that's something that is intriguing to them, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't want to see them blowing that in my yard. But it has, even the dandelion has its beauty too, the yellow flower. Yep. And then when it's got that puff, it's just, the way it's formed is just really interesting. And I'm going to plant some roses. And it's really interesting that I can nowadays go online and click on a specific type of rose, and they will send me, most of the time they send the right thing, I think, those of you who order online. I'm going to plant these roses in, and the rose is an amazing flower. And not only is there roses out there, but God gave the ability for mankind to manipulate the properties of a rose to make new colors and new varieties. I've watched a person with the irises and how they will crossbreed the different varieties of irises by taking some pollen from this plant, putting it under this plant, and eventually that flower dies and creates a pod. And in that pod, it has some seeds, and you plant those seeds and they grow into a new color. That's an accident? Again, it takes more faith to believe that it's an accident. than to believe that there is a God with creativity, and that we are created in the image of God, and we too have creativity. I mean, if you ever been to a craft show, anybody like craft shows? Or maybe some of you are crafty people, where somehow God has given you some idea, maybe nobody's ever done it before, and you made something and people say, wow! Over the years, you have developed the ability to have creativity, to make this thing. No, God has created us in His image so that we can create things, we can make things with the things that He has given to us. When I think about even back in many years ago with the Egyptians and how they were able to melt metal and make, well, even idols. I mean, it's just amazing that way back then they could do that. And when I read about doors and windows in the Bible, I thought we lived in a modern world where we have all this stuff. Where did this stuff come from anyway? God was involved in giving mankind the ability to make things because we are created in His image. But yet people are trying to destroy that creativity by twisting the truth into a lie and destroying people's creativity. That's why we live in darkness today, is because we have taken God out of the picture. In the schools we have said you cannot talk about God in schools. We take down the 10 Commandments and we don't want to say in God we trust or one nation under God. And so God, being a gentleman, steps back His protection from our country. Not because He doesn't want to be involved, but we have basically shoved Him aside. And the light, when God, who is the light, steps back, guess what's going to happen? How many of you, well, they used to have flashlights. Not too many people have flashlights anymore because you have your cell phone, right? When you're walking down the path, what are you doing? You're turning on the flashlight and you're showing where you're going so that you don't stumble in the darkness. You don't go shining your light in the darkness and then just walk in the darkness. In the same way, we need Jesus, who is the light, to show us where we're going. And we all of us who have given our lives to the Lord, we have the light. And Jesus says, let your light
Shine.
so shine before some people, selected people, right?
Amen.
All people. So what? They can see what? Your good works, how you live your life, and give glory to God. So how are you doing? You see, the thing is, I hear a lot of this of people in different workplaces saying how Christians are acting, and it really grieves me. And if it grieves me, how much more would it grieve the Holy Spirit? When we who should have the light are not shining our light into the dark world. We proclaim to you what we have seen and heard, so that you also may have fellowship with us. And our fellowship is with the Father and His Son, Jesus Christ. We write this to make our joy complete. You see, there is this oneness